I had a wet dream. I was seeing myself floating downstream on my back in the Amazon River, wrapped up by anacondas and pythons, surrounded by crocodiles, piranhas, and freshwater sharks. And that comes from Matthew McConaughey in Green Lights. And he went on to travel to Africa. It's all about following your dreams, and that's what we're talking about today. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is one of the most famous books of all time, and it's such a feel-good book. It's full of adventure, mishaps, and obstacles, and all of the amazing life lessons you can learn about finding your purpose. And it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting.
The truth is, you can't be anything you want, but you can be everything you are.
At the beginning of the book, we meet an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago, and he has a dream, and he doesn't know whether or not he should follow it. When someone makes a decision, he is really diving into a strong current that will carry him to places he had never dreamed of when he first made the decision.
Where it might take you that you didn't imagine, that's usually where you find something that is actually what your goals are.
The question so many of us have is, how do you find your one true destiny? To realize one's own destiny is a person's only real obligation. The first step is to find your purpose, what it is that you are here for, what you want to do.
You should only ever be doing one of two things: figuring out what you're most passionate about, and then two, realizing those passions.
Execute on that purpose 100% with everything you've got.
Absolutely fixate on what it is that I want to be doing all day long, every day.
When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it.
You really believe that it's something you have to do, the universe has a way of making it okay.
People learn early on in their lives what is their reason for being. Maybe that's why they give up on it so early. This is you, maybe your parents, friends, they're all telling you different things that you should do, and now you've become all confused, so you can't hear the language of the world anymore. And this is what it was all about in The Alchemist. He had to learn again to listen to the language of the world, and more importantly, trust it. After Santiago gets across the ocean to Africa, he gets robbed. This is because the universe has a twisted sense of humor. The universe is going to test you. It's not going to be easy. There are going to be obstacles. There have to be obstacles, because those obstacles help you grow and make you stronger, because you have to be before you have. You can't actually have your treasure until you go through the obstacles. Sure, you can think like in your mind and visualize it, or you can be like Santiago and actually take the actions and follow your dreams. These obstacles help you be the person that you need to be before you can have it. So after Santiago loses all of his money, he stumbles on a crystal shop, and this is where we meet the merchant. The merchant has some really great lines, and one of my favorites is, "Every blessing ignored becomes a curse." He is what Santiago could become if he doesn't keep going to pursue his destiny. He's afraid to go pursue his destiny and take the pilgrimage to Mecca, because he's afraid that once he achieves it, he will lose a reason for living. And so many of us do this. We live in a fantasy world where we like to keep our destiny in imagination. If you don't pursue your destiny, it will turn inward and it will consume you. Now, after about a year in the crystal shop, he makes enough money to go pursue his personal legend. We meet the Englishman. He studied alchemy for 10 years. He's read all the books, and now he's on his way to go find the alchemist. But the problem with the Englishman is he forgot to listen. One of my favorite lines from the book is, he felt the urge to go out into the desert to see if the silence held the answer to his questions. The book wouldn't be complete if he didn't find the true language of the world. The key to a happy life and a purposeful life is really just love. It's connections with other people. So he has to choose between going on for his personal legend and following his quest, or choosing love and staying in the desert. And of course, Fatima is so wonderful, and she says, of course, you must go on your quest. If you feel you have a personal legend to go on, you have to pursue that. You have to go for it. You have to become that person. Otherwise, you will become like the merchant and it will consume you and you will always live in fear or always wonder what could have been, and that is a parasite that will eat you up inside. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity. When he meets the alchemist, they decide to keep going through the desert on the way to the pyramids, but the two tribes are fighting. They end up getting captured and brought before a tribal leader, and the alchemist tells one of the leaders, yeah, Santiago can turn himself into the wind. He'll show you if you let us go. Santiago's like, what, man? I can't turn myself into the wind. And he's like, well, you better figure it out or we're both dead. The only way we can really get things done is this common phrase of burn the boats. No, there is no plan B. And you just have to have no other choice. And he realizes that he is part of God. The kingdom of God is within you. And that is when he realizes he can perform miracles. Oh yeah, you could be a good friend by subscribing to this channel or join my weekly newsletter. Link is down in the description, where I send out tips and methods that you can use to apply to your life and change your life. And we just talk about general self-improvement stuff and tons of books and travel and AI and all that good stuff. Link down below. Join, you won't regret it. Finally, Santiago arrives at the pyramids. Some thieves show up and they beat him up and they laugh at him and they take the money that he has. As one of the thieves is leaving, he's like, what are you doing here, man? And Santiago basically tells him, I had a dream, like there was a treasure here. And the thief looks back at him and he's like, you idiot, why would you come all the way here to look for a treasure? He's like, I had the same dream that you had. There was gonna be some treasure at a church in Spain under a sycamore tree. Of course I would never go pursue that. It was just a stupid dream.
People who have abandoned their dreams and aspirations will always discourage others from pursuing theirs.
And guess where Santiago was at the beginning of the story? Remember that wherever your heart is, that is where you will find your treasure. You need to go through the obstacles to become the person that you're meant to be, that deserves and is worthy of your purpose and the treasure that you're looking for. And one of my favorite parts of the book is this 2 drops of oil. This person goes to seek happiness from a wise man who lives up in the mountains in this amazing palace. And when he gets there, the happy wise man gives him a spoon with 2 drops of oil and says, go view the palace and then come back. And the wise man tells him, the secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never to forget the drops of oil on the spoon. Yes, you have to go out and you have to enjoy the world and you have to be in the moment and see everything, but you don't forget what is most important to you. All right, here's some actions you can take to help you find your personal legend. You can have a life in a decade. You could become so great at something, at a profession, a career in 10 years, and then you can switch. This made me feel so good when I came across it, because the old school view is like, you pick one thing and then you do it for 50 years until you die and that's it. So if you're someone like me who wants to do many things, that should be really relieving. You're gonna do your 10-year plan. You're gonna plan out everything. This is something you can do to help you figure out what you want your future to look like. Whatever you do, get very clear on these areas and exactly what you want your future life to look like. The second thing you can do is what Tim Ferriss calls fear setting. Now, fear setting is just a set of questions you can ask yourself to see what is the worst that could happen. What you're trying to uncover here is what fear is holding you back and what is that fear costing you.
Life shrinks and life expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk.
Okay, number 3 and the last one, the one you're probably gonna hate. You gotta disconnect. Gotta get off the phone. And it's not just because it's the brain rot or stealing your dopamine. It's because you don't know who you are. You just have so many other voices and you can't even see it. Your brain has no fucking clue who you are anymore. Who are you? The only way is to disconnect, to hear yourself again. And as soon as you can listen, maybe then you can hear the soul of the world. And you can ask yourself, are you truly following your heart?